Sports.
We are Buffalo. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
I'm just really thankful that God put me in this position. That I'm 39 and I'm still trying to play. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be it. This is gonna be it. So, like I said, man, I'm just enjoying it these last six weeks and finally go home.
Well, it appears the final month and a half of Victor Martinez's career is upon us, and tonight he'll go to work in a ballpark in which he's done some major damage. 356 career average here at Target Field with 11 homers, had 48 RBIs, and hopefully Victor keeping the magic wand going in this series here tonight. It is a gorgeous yet warm and humid night for baseball tonight. Welcome to Target Field, Game 1 featuring the Tigers and the Minnesota Twins. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen. We are glad to have you with us here for Game 1 between the Tigers and Twins. And what more can you say about Victor Martinez, Rod? The good thing is he's really starting to heat up now down the stretch.
He really is, and I think he's going to really enjoy the next 6 weeks. I think we all had a feeling that Victor was going to shut it down after this season was over. 39 years old, over 2,000 hits. He's made 5 All-Star teams. He's won a lot of Silver Sluggers, and he's helped out a lot of good young players. Victor Martinez has had a marvelous career.
He certainly deserves to be showered with praise here the final month and a half of his career. Nico Goodrum,
wow.
How good has he been? Nico, man, had a really good homestand both with the bat and with the glove.
Well, he did have a very good homestand, but however, when these Twinkies show up, whether it be at Target Field or whether it be at Comerica Park, Goody just gets off. I mean, he has worn them out to the tune of 9 RBI in 9 games this year. He scored 8 runs, 9 hits, 7 of those for extra base hits. He has 12 homers on the season, and 4 of those against his former team. He was the 70th player chosen in the 2010 draft, chosen by the Minnesota Twins, but they never, ever gave him a chance to realize his potential at this level, and he is realizing it with the Tigers. He's what we would define as a late bloomer, high school kid that's really figured it out.
All right, now these Minnesota Twins have really changed their roster around. Brian Dozier was dealt over to the National League and the Dodgers. Logan Forsythe comes over to the Twins, and he is really ranked.
Well, he gives you a professional at bat, and one of the things about Logan Forsythe, he's not in a hurry. I mean, he'll take a pitch. He's not afraid to hit behind in the count. If you see how late he lets the ball travel, that's because he looks for breaking balls late, and he can still hit the fastball the opposite way. You see his numbers this year with the Twins, 368 in just 13 games. He was only hitting 200 when he was playing out in Hollywood with the Los Angeles Dodgers, so maybe the fact that he's not playing in that pressure of the National League West and he's playing for a team that's not really going anywhere, it's allowed him to have some success. But he did hit 20 home runs just a couple of years ago when he was playing for the Tampa Bay Rays.
All right, 2 divisional opponents in the Central Division going at it here again tonight. And when we come back, we'll talk about the pitching matchup. Francisco Liriano is looking for his first win since late April. Stay with us. More from the ballpark coming up next.
Here tonight, Francisco Liriano has not gotten a win since April 28th. This should be a lineup he can have success against if he uses his very good breaking ball. When you look at Irvin Santana, he's had a nice career against the Tigers. However, in this ballpark, he hasn't fared very well against Tigers bats.
All right, after a short break, we'll go back to the Coliseum Studios. Trevor Thompson and Craig Monroe. Lineup's first pitch coming up next. Minneapolis, where it's 81 degrees at game time. Very humid, though, as well. The Tigers Twins in the start of a 4-game series. Here's the starting lineup for the Tigers, presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. And for Detroit tonight, he'll be Candelario, Aducey, and Castellanos in the top 3 spots. Nico batting cleanup. V-Mark, the DH. Matuk is in left. McCann, Rodriguez, and Reyes, your bottom 3 tonight for the Tigers. Irvin Santana is on the mound for Minnesota, presented by MGM Grand Detroit.
And Irvin is still trying to play catch up. He didn't make his first start of the season until July 25th, and he really hasn't pitched well this year. He's 0-1 with a 653 earned run average. The opponents are hitting 296 against Irvin, which is rather high. Take a look at the defensive alignment put out there by the Hall of Fame manager Paul Molitor of the Minnesota Twins. Adrianza in left field. They've got Kepler. He's in center field. Johnny Field over in right field. The infield reads Sano, Polanco, Forsythe, and Joe Mauer. And Mitch Garver is the battery mate tonight of Irvin Santana.
So here we go. It'll be Candelario to lead things off for the Tigers here. The first of 4 between these 2 squads. Jamer on the homestand had 5 hits. He is batting .229 on the year. And the first one home is high and away on Candelario. 15 homers this year. He has knocked in 45. 10 of his 15 long balls have come from the left side of the plate, so this is his better power side. Of course, he faces more right-handers than lefties. And Jamer looks at a ball outside. 2-1. Tigers lead the season series between these two squads. They've won 5 of the 9 so far. There's a strike on the outer edge, 2-2. Paul Molitor, the skipper of the Minnesota Twins, 4th season as the Twins manager, Hall of Fame player. There's a chopper foul down the first base line.
And Paul Molitor gives the Tigers manager Ron Gardenhire a lot of praise for putting him on his staff the final year of Gardy's managerial run here in Minnesota, which lasted 13 seasons. Great manager, 6 postseason appearances with Minnesota.
Now again the 2-2, and it's high, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Santana just recently came off the disabled list. This is his 5th start since coming off the DL. He had finger surgery early in the year.
They've been talking a lot about his velocity this year. His velocity is only averaging 89 miles an hour this season.
I just read foul to right.
Whereas last year it was averaging 93 miles an hour, but I have a feeling it has something to do with that middle finger on the right hand, which was surgically repaired in the beginning of the season.
Santana has been a very steady and solid winner over the years in his career. And Jamer works a walk to get things started here in the 1st inning. By the way, if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the Tiger box to a participating Arby's location tomorrow and get a free small order of curly fries. Jim Ducey batting in the 2 spot in the lineup. Tigers without John Hicks for probably the rest of the year. We'll see. He had surgery. There's a high fly ball to left field, hit pretty well, but it's Adrianza right in front of the warning track. 1 away.
First time I can ever remember a Ducey batting in that number 2 spot.
Yeah, we'd have to look that up, but I think you're right. That'll bring up Castellanos.
5 left-handed bats at the top of the order today for the Detroit Tigers. Oh, excuse me. There's Nicholas Castellanos. 3 of the 4, excuse me.
Nick back up to 290. That's because he had a really good homestand, especially that series against Chicago. 7 for 13.
That's over 500.
It is. Drove in a bunch of runs too, and he drives this one high in the air, deep to left center field. That ball is way back, and that ball is gone into the bullpen. A 2-run shot for Nicholas Castellanos, and the Tigers have an early lead.
Look out, Nicholas. I see you. He also wears out Irvin Santana. Came in batting a robust .368 against Irvin. I think we might have a bat flip here, partner.
Really?
I think so.
Let's see.
And first pitch, 89. Ooh, how about that bat flip? How about the catch? You see the umpire catch it?
Yes.
And I've never seen that before.
Manny Gonzalez flagged that out of the air.
Well, why would Manny catch it?
I know it was kind of a weird flip too. That ball is going to drop into left field, and Nico on his way to second. And he's in there with a stand-up double, and Nico Goodrum just won't quit against the Twins.
Man, they have 10. Nico has 10 hits against his former team this year, and 8 of those are extra bases.
.396 feet on the home run for Castellanos. Tigers now looking to add. They've got a homer and they've got a double, and now here is Victor Martinez. We mentioned at the top of the broadcast that Victor really rakes in this ballpark. He has made himself at home here. Overall this year, a .244 with 6 homers. Carver down to block it.
Let's take one more look at the bat flip here of Nicholas Castellanos. It's a reverse bat flip. And the umpire caught it.
I've never seen that. Ever. Manny Gonzalez, your home plate umpire tonight, showing some good hands. 2-1 now on Victor. Well, the Tigers got to Santana for 5 runs in 6 innings the last time they faced him back at Comerica on the 10th. And they jumped on him here with a 2-run shot from Castellanos. Now 3-1 on Victor.
And Logan Forsythe, the second baseman, playing about 15 to 20 steps in the outfield. And you can see him right here.
Martinez, 333 on the last homestand. Skies this one in the air to right center field. And it's going to be run down by Johnny Field. Runner will tag. Nico will dive into third as he moves up. Two gone now. Here is Chevrolet's most dependable player, and we're going to stay here with Nico Goodrum. These are numbers coming in tonight. When you look at Nico against the Twins in 9 games coming into the series, 4 home runs and 9 RBIs.
The Twins don't know if Nico would have been doing what he's doing for them in their uniform as he's doing in a Tigers uniform, boy, but they sure would have liked to find out. They basically gave Nico away.
Here is Matuk now with 2 outs.
It's one of those things that we talk about quite often. A lot of times it takes a high school player a little bit longer before they get their sea legs underneath them. A lot of times minor leaguers that are drafted out of high school, they spend 5, 6, 7 years sometimes in the minors, whereas the college kids usually they only takes 2 or 3 years before they get to the big leagues, especially the kids that have played in really good programs.
That is a foul ball down the left field line. I think a lot of it too, Rod, has to do with circumstance. I mean, if you're in an organization that has a need for your position, you know, you might move up more quickly and be looked upon as a guy that could help the major league club. But Nico was so versatile that he could play anywhere on the field.
I mean, last year in AAA, he played 7 different positions. So they knew he was versatile. But they had Eduardo Escobar here. They traded him away to the Dodgers. He went to Arizona. Eduardo Escobar went to the Arizona Diamondbacks. But he was the utility player, so to speak, for a number of years here. That's why Nico was allowed to sign elsewhere.
1-2 now on Matuk. Manny Gonzalez, the aforementioned Manny Gonzalez, behind the plate. Diaz, Nelson, and Lipka are the remainder of the crew. Here's the 1-2. 2-2 on Matuk. Waiting on deck is James McCann. Santana being made to work here in the first inning, walked the leadoff man, then 1 batter later a 2-run shot by Nicholas Castellanos. Slow roller back to the mound on the backhand. Santana will throw him out, and that'll end the inning. Tigers get 2 runs. They jump on Santana early in this one tonight, thanks to Castellanos. Number 18 for Nick, and it's 2-0 Detroit. Tigers have an early 2-0 lead here, and trying to hold it is Francisco Liriano, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Francisco Liriano checks in with a 3-7 record. We told you earlier he had not won a game since way back in April, so he's got an early lead here today. Let's hope he can go out and keep that lead and win a ball game here tonight. First game of the road trip.
Liriano hopefully will sidestep the walks that have been an issue for him this year.
Yeah, he's thrown way too many pitches, man. Way too many pitches.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different starts this year. He has walked at least 4 batters.
He's got a fastball that will top out at 94 here today. He's got a slider that he neutralizes all left-handed batters with. He hit about 130 against Liriano.
Joe Mauer leads it off for the Twins.
Apparently Paul Molitor, the manager of the Minnesota Twins, not bothered by the fact that Liriano dominates left-handers. He's got one leading off for him.
Mauer this year pretty good against lefties. 289, not bad.
If you watched our telecast when the Minnesota Twins were in town just a few days ago at Comerica Park, and we told you that Joe Mauer takes the first pitch of every at-bat 96% of the time. He only swings 4% of the time at the first pitch of an at-bat.
One and two on Mauer. It's been 13 starts since Liriano has had a victory. April 28th, his last win for the Tigers. Got in on his hands, and he flares it toward left field. Matuk on the run. It'll drop foul. Here's the lineup tonight for the Twins, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. You saw Mauer. In fact, you're still seeing him. He'll be followed in the lineup tonight by Logan Forsythe, who's been really hot. Jorge Polanco, Miguel Sano batting cleanup. Austin and Garver also in the middle of their lineup, and Kepler, Field, and Adrianza in the bottom 3 slots. 1 and 2 on Mauer. Waiting on deck is Logan Forsythe, who has found a home here in Minnesota. Again, the 1-2. Drilled toward left field, hit pretty good. Reyes, long run, still going, can't get it. It'll roll up against the wall. Mauer is on his way to second, and he is in with a leadoff double.
And Joe Mauer got a hanging breaking ball from Francisco Liriano with 2 strikes. And Mauer's one of those guys that doesn't strike out very often. Just a real nice, quiet approach. Real pretty swing. Hits the ball into the left center field gap. Mata couldn't get there. Victor Reyes couldn't run it down. And Joe Mauer at second base with a leadoff double. Here's where Logan Forsythe will give you a quality at bat. He'll be trying to hit something between Nico Goodrum and Jim Adduci, the first and second baseman.
Forsythe overall this year is batting .241, but his number is much better as a Minnesota Twin.
Yeah, nearly 400 with his new squad. He's only batting .200 this year out in Hollywood with the Dodgers.
.207 with the Dodgers. He had 13 RBIs in 70 games. He's got 6 already in 13 games with the Twins. Two and one now on Forsythe. There is some thought that because the Dodgers had him playing all over the diamond, that coming here to Minnesota, he basically has played second base and that's it. That has kind of settled him into a daily routine.
I'll buy that. He seems comfortable.
2-1 pitch. There you go. Base hit to right field. Mauer is on his way to third. They're going to stop him there. Castellanos hustles it back in. A single for Forsythe.
McLaren Health Plan brings you the Tigers starting defense. And Mikey Montook getting the start in left field tonight. Victor Reyes, he's in center field. You know, Castellanos, he's over in right field. He's already homered here tonight. 2-run shot in the top half of the first inning. Candelario Rodriguez, Goodrum Madusi in the infield, and James McCann is the catcher. Here's the reason why they love Logan Forsythe. We talked about it. That's exactly what he went up there to do, is to hit something right between those two, and he was able to do it.
You know, we often say giving yourself up, but if you put the ball in play to the right side of the infield, sometimes as well, you are rewarded for that.
No doubt about that part.
So you're not only just trying to move the runner up, but oh boy, that ball belted to left field down the line, and that ball is gone. A 3-run homer line drive variety for Polanco.
They didn't waste no time getting right back into this contest. They've taken over the lead.
That thing got out of here in a hurry, and 3 batters into the bottom of the first. Minnesota is back on top.
This Minnesota team has won 16 of its last 20 games right here at Target Field. So they play with a tremendous amount of confidence. Their crowd here always gets behind them, and the players really appreciate it. Polanco missed the first 80 games of the season because it was a PED suspension, but since coming back, he has performed very well.
There's the ball hammered to center field off the bat of Sano, but Reyes runs it down.
They're not missing any bats, is he?
Not so far.
The Pittsburgh Pirates just got swept in a 2-game series by the Minnesota Twins the last couple of days, and Minnesota scored 11 runs in those 2 games. So their offense is kind of perked up in the last 3 days.
Well, they've been a good home team overall this year, 35-24. Here is Tyler Austin. Just as quickly as Castellanos gave the Tigers the lead, the Twins have answered. Polanco's second home run. Two 2-0 on the DH, Tyler Austin. Recently called up from AAA on the 10th. And now he's gone to 3-0.
And Austin is one of those guys that Paul Molitor might turn loose. And should Liriano try to throw him a fastball right down the middle.
Outside corner for strike one.
Austin homered in that series at Comerica Park. His first series with his new team.
Began the year with the Yankees and then came over in the Lance Lynn deal. He hit 8 home runs in a Yankees uniform. There was some thought that he would be part of the next young crew coming up in the Yankees system.
That Yankee team kind of scuffling right now.
They are.
They lost today against the Tampa Bay Rays 3-1. Schnell beat Tanaka.
Walked him. Fourth base runner of the inning now for the Twins. And here's the makeover that the Twins had near the deadline.
Well, they basically traded away most of their pieces. Presley, Eduardo, Lynn, Duke, Dozier, Rodney, all in other uniforms right now, all playing with contenders.
They did get a couple of pieces, a couple of major league pieces back. We talked about Austin. We talked about Forsythe. They also received 11 minor leaguers in all those deals. So they have restocked their system.
That's usually what you get at the trade deadline when you're trading for veteran players or pitchers. You usually get prospects back in return.
One ball and no strikes on Mitch Garver. Now Liriano can't throw a strike. 2-0.
And Francisco looking for a ground ball off the bat of Garver.
11 strikes, 9 balls in his first 20 pitches. Gardy was hoping to get some length out of Liriano tonight. They went deep to their bullpen in that last series. Way outside, 3-0.
My goodness.
Now Rick Anderson coming out, and Liriano will get a visit.
Let's take one look at the delivery here of Liriano. I was having a conversation with Rick Anderson just a few days ago. We were talking about Liriano. He said his bullpen sessions are always on point because he stays under control. But take a look at this front shoulder right before he releases this ball. How violently he go a little further, go a little further, right there. His violently he yanks that front shoulder, the right shoulder down toward third base. The arm never catches up, and it causes that fastball to tail away from the right-handed batter. So what he has to do is he has to make sure that he keeps that front shoulder in direct line with home plate as long as possible, and you get the leg kick up and you allow your arm to catch up. Rick Anderson has spent a lot of time with Francisco Liriano.
Garver takes now 3-1.
That was much better. Much more of a direct line toward home plate. Look at the shoulder. See how closed it is right now? Still closed, still closed. Boom. Oh, that's beautiful.
Popped up. Shallow center field. Cruising over is Reyes. And that is the second out of the inning. It'll bring up Max Kepler. Kepler this year at .234, 15 home runs.
He was killing left-handers earlier this year. I wonder what his numbers are now against lefties.
In there, a strike call. Kepler homered in that last series last week against Joe Jimenez.
.259 now against lefties is Kepler with 5 homers this year.
Well, the Tigers will be throwing a steady diet of lefties this entire series in their rotation. All of them, as a matter of fact.
4? You got 4 lefties?
Yeah, 4 of them if Carpenter indeed makes the start, which he is probably going to. With Lewicki going on the DL, he was going to be the only right-hander.
Boyd and Hardy the other 2?
They are. Boyd tomorrow and then Hardy in the finale. Diving low and away, 1 ball and 2 strikes on Kepler.
And McCann always gets a really nice night's sleep when Francisco's on the mound because he works hard back there. He has to block a lot of pitches, and Francisco bounces a lot of those sliders.
Opponents this year batting just .180 against the slider. Well, they got him picked off. Badusi throws down. The tag is in time. Austin is out at second base, inning over, but the home run makes it 3-2 Twins.
belittle the bench coach who handles the running game or if he just went on his own, but he was able to pick off Austin, who took off prematurely. A nice play here finishing, but when I want to go back to a Ducey at first base and show you something here. If you're at first base, to make an easier play for you, if you're a Ducey, you have to come out here to meet the ball when it's coming from Francisco. Therefore, when you throw the ball down to second base, you're not worried about throwing it over the head of the base runner. You see, he had to lob that ball over the head, and Candelario had to wait on it. So you want to clear your body by getting out there, and then you can have a clear line to throw the ball to second base. But Ducey's still learning first base like a lot of the other guys.
Yeah, no doubt. Tigers really don't have a pure first baseman right now on the roster. Santana back to work. He spins McCann out of the batter's box.
Miguel Cabrera is one of the best at that. When the guy gets picked off, I mean, he comes off and gets that ball, and then he gets a really direct path to throw that ball to the shortstop. But in this case, he was throwing the ball to Candelario. Those shifts.
Yep. People out of position. But it worked.
Yeah.
Tigers got the caught stealing there.
Well, Santana not necessarily pitching his best baseball right now. He's falling behind McCann 2-0.
To center field on a line. Still going, and a leaping play by Kepler.
They're hitting the ball hard today.
One away. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Kroger. Visit Kroger.com for great deals, coupons, and more. Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. And by Ram. Come in now to the Ram Summer Clearance Event and get a great deal today. Beautiful day here in Minneapolis. Tigers starting a 4-game set as Ronnie Rodriguez fouls it back out of play. Jose Iglesias getting the day off. He is available to play tonight. He's still being bothered by that bruised thumb, and they want to make sure that he gets some time to heal on that, but if needed tonight, he could play. Ronnie pops this one up first base side for Mauer. 2 gone. Here's Victor Reyes. Victor playing a lot now. He has played a lot of center field with Jacoby Jones on the disabled list.
He's pretty much been getting a hit a game too.
Victor had 4 hits on the homestand. Fouled away. I am interested to see as Victor Reyes progresses, and obviously he's probably going to be in the minor leagues next year, but how much power he'll be able to produce at this level, because he's got good size physically.
Yes, he does, and he's only going to get bigger and stronger.
And Reyes down to end the inning. It's a 1-2-3 frame. Well, the Braves and Marlins benches cleared last night in Atlanta. More on the aftermath when we come back. Wins two for the Tigers as we go to the bottom of the second. Max Kepler is back up there. He was at the plate when Austin was caught trying to steal. Kepler and then Field and Adrianza 7, 8, 9 facing Liriano. Kepler starting in center field tonight. He's done a bunch of that this year in place of Byron Buxton. They're still waiting for their talented center fielder to come off the disabled list. He did come off the minor league DL. There's a wave and a miss.
Yeah, there are quietly some people in the Minnesota organization that are worried about Buxton. I mean, he's been injured often in his career in the minor majors. They're hoping it's just not one of those things that he has to deal with his entire career.
Well, he is such a difference maker on the field here, both sides really, because we saw at the end of last year that he can really, when he gets it going, man, last couple of years, he can be a dynamite player.
No, no question. He could dominate a game on both sides.
Two and two on Kepler. Swing and a miss. Kepler is out of there on strikes. They'll throw down, one away. Time now for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Last night, Braves red-hot rookie Ronald Acuna Jr., after leading off homers in 3 straight games, was hit in the arm by Jose Urena of the Marlins to start the game. Bench is cleared. Acuna was visibly hurt, was taken out of the game, and well, that caused some bad blood because Acuna is one of the fine young talents in this game.
Yeah, this was horrible. And I thought Major League Baseball acted swiftly as well. A 6-game suspension for Jose Urena. No place in our game for that, Mario. And I listened to a lot of people talk about this, and it was a talk of baseball today. A lot of people, it made people sick to their stomach to watch this man hit this young kid intentionally because he's hitting home runs.
Well, the good thing is that I read today he had a scan on that elbow. It came back negative.
Yep, CT scan.
Could you imagine if he had fractured that elbow?
Terrible.
Would have been horrible.
And the one thing about the pitch that Urena threw, you know, they got numbers for everything. They said it was the hardest first pitch of a game he's thrown this year.
Imagine that.
The hardest first pitch of a game he's thrown this year, and he threw it right at the youngster Ronald Acuna Jr., who's 20 years old and he's got a bright future.
So that video there, Brian Snitker, their manager, he came out and confronted Urena, and then you're not kidding, he was irate, man. His team right now is in first place in the National League East. He is a key part of their team.
And you know what is so sad, Mario, is that all the dads and the moms that took their kids to the game yesterday. It's a Sunday. No, what was yesterday? Day game. They played day game.
Yep.
Day game, afternoon.
Wednesday.
Probably took their kids to the game to see history.
Right.
And this man, he won at bat and he's gone.
Meanwhile, 3-1 the count on the right-handed batting Johnny Field, who sends it back out of play. 3-2. Adrianza waiting on deck. It used to be, Rod, where, you know, it was thought, okay, if a guy's having a great series against him, maybe you brush him back, maybe you hit him on the backside, whatever. But you know, everybody's throwing 98 to 100 miles an hour, it seems.
And you don't do it the first pitch of the game.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
You don't have to do it that way.
Field sends a ground ball left side, fielded there by Rodriguez, and his throw in time. Boy, you do see he had to hold on to the bag with his big toe there. By the way, stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we'll be selecting the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by McDonald's. And there is your leader in the clubhouse now, Castellanos.
Yeah, early candidate with a 2-run shot in the first inning against Francisco Liriano.
You don't want to look at this, apparently.
Really?
Let's see here. Yeah, he's off the bat.
They're right.
Let's see. Off the bag.
Yep. That will be overturned
Quickly, you would think.
Yep. Shouldn't take 31 seconds. We had one with 31 seconds yesterday.
Yeah. I love those.
Unfortunately, that's going to go as an error to Ronnie Rodriguez.
The crowd now being shown the replay on the big board here, but clearly on this angle you can see his foot is off the bag.
They've got a nice crowd here tonight on a Thursday evening.
I'm wondering what angles they're looking at, because the one we had was super clear.
Jeff Nelson, the crew chief, along with Laz Diaz, who made the safe call.
Did he get his foot back in there? I don't think so.
Out call, excuse me.
Safe. So give Ronnie Rodriguez an error. Call is overturned. 1 minute 21 seconds. Ray Adrianza with one out.
And Rodriguez doesn't get many reps at the shortstop position. Iglesias is always manning that position, but he was backing up on that ball. And Field was hustling down the line, so he threw from a sidearm angle, and that ball just kind of tailed on him.
Two and 0. Adrianza only 139 over his last 16 games, but his numbers much better versus Tigers pitching. Pulled foul outside of the bag at third.
Francisco's going to have to start to do a little bit better job with his first pitch strikes. He is just 3 of 10 in first pitch strikes so far this evening.
And it seems like he's had quite a few 2-0 counts.
Yep. And the one thing that helps Francisco, even when he does fall behind, is the fact that he's not afraid to throw that slider or the changeup when behind it counts, when most hitters are dialed in for that fastball. It's a nice take right there by Adrianza on an off-speed pitch in the 2-1 count.
Whoa. 21 strikes, 19 balls. Walked him. 2 on 1 out, error and a walk here in the second. Hey, we're going back to college with Nissan. Well, kind of going back to college. If Joe Mauer would have gone to college, he was going to Florida State to play quarterback there. He signed a national letter of intent to play there, but then the Twins said, we'll take you #1.
He was the #1 ranked high school football player in the country, and he was the #1 rated high school baseball player in the country too. So this man was very, very talented in high school.
Mauer had a double in the first and scored on the home run by Polanco. On the outer edge, 0-1 on Joe Mauer.
And Joe Mauer caught Liriano for a number of years when Liriano was pitching for the Minnesota Twins. Liriano spent a total of 8 years in a Twins uniform.
One ball and 1 strike. Liriano is a Minnesota Twin. Was 50 and 52 overall. But boy, that first year, his rookie year, exceedingly good. Sprayed foul back out of play.
Joe Mauer played his high school ball at the same high school as his manager, Paul Molitor, near Creighton Durham Hall, a private school. Jack Morris also said he played a lot of high school baseball against Paul Molitor. Jack Morris going to have a ceremony here on Saturday.
Where's Jack today?
He's all over the place.
The local radio broadcast has their analysts spread around the ballpark here, and Jack is actually on the right field corner. He's on the foul pole. Look at Gladden. Dan Gladden is on the opposite end.
He's got autographs all on that mid, doesn't he?
He does.
He looks like he's having a lot of fun, doesn't he? Dan Gladden looks like he's into it.
That's debatable. Jack's scribbling on the foul pole, is he? That's funny.
I've seen a lot of television broadcasts, man, from the stands and in different places in the stadium, but I don't think I've ever seen radio guys do games from the stands.
Yeah, there is Corey Provis, who's doing the game from the booth. He's the luckiest
He's all
guy
smiles.
right
Look at it.
They got one in the left, they got one in right, and they got one in the booth. How about that? Jack's in the Hall of Fame. They stick him out in right field.
No respect.
Runners going, fouled away.
Paul Molitor has a tremendous amount of confidence in Joe Mauer. At least he did on that last 3-2 pitch, because he allowed the runners to take off. And we've already told you that Francisco Liriano can just dominate a left-handed batter. I mean, if he throws him a slider and strikes him out, they're going to get themselves a strike him out, throw him out. If Candelario's able to get to that bag in time, he's playing well off the line, so he has to make sure he gets over there.
That time they held, and Mauer takes a walk to load the bases.
Third walk of the contest already for Francisco.
You and I were talking about this before the game. It's just simply part of the package.
Yeah, and Ron Gardenhire and Rick Anderson say as much. They say they know he's going to have some high pitch counts. They know he's going to walk 4 or 5 an out, but this is what the Tigers have right now.
Liriano this year is averaging 5 walks per 9. For his career, he's closer to 4. And now one of their hottest hitters, Logan Forsythe, with the bases loaded.
And you know Logan's going to put the ball in play. Let's just hope he puts the ball in play on the ground. It's into a twin kill, a twin inning double play.
Line to right field, slicing, fair ball. It'll go to the corner. Field scores. Adrianza scores. Mauer coming to third. It's a ground rule double. 2 runs in. Logan Forsythe has 2 more hits tonight.
Well, we talked about Logan Forsythe at the top of the show. Came in batting .368 in 13 games with his new team, the Minnesota Twins. He's only batting .200 when he was with Los Angeles, but he just gives you a quality at bat. I mean, here's a fastball off the plate. He allows the ball to get deep in the strike zone. He very seldom rolls over to the shortstop, and ball bounces out of play for a stand-up double and a couple of RBIs for Logan Forsythe.
So that error by Rodriguez looming large now. Here is Polanco, second and third, still only 1 out. And Liriano again falling behind. Rolled foul, 1-1.
Liriano with 51 pitches already.
Not what the Tigers wanted to see, using the bullpen extensively in the last homestand. But they have made the call to the pen here to get somebody heating. Here's the 1-1. Drilled to left field on a line and caught on a slide there. Mauer tags. He'll come home and he is safe. Ball gets away from the catcher McCann, and Forsythe will go to third. Sacrifice fly RBI for Polanco. He is driven in 4.
This is great base running by the veteran Joe Mauer. I mean, a lot of times when a ball hit like this, guys don't go back to tag like this. Joe Mauer goes back to tag, and when Montook leaves his feet to make the play, Joe Mauer is off and running and able to get a sacrifice fly there for Jorge Polanco. Good base running there by Joe Mauer.
6-2 ball game now with 2 outs. Here is Steno.
Already 4 RBIs today for Jorge Polanco.
Steno hit the ball hard his first time up, right at the center fielder Reyes. And already we've got action. Zach Reininger is warming up. He is not even recognizable now with the new haircut.
No, he isn't.
Reininger was called up when Lewicki was put on the disabled list. Sano skies one to right, hit well. Castellanos back, turning, it's gone. Row 1 in right field, an opposite field 2-run shot for Miguel Sano.
Francisco Liriano continues to fall behind the majority of these Twins hitters, and because of that, they've all gotten themselves some pretty good pitches to hit. And when they've gotten them, they have not missed them.
It's going to be it for Liriano. He will not survive the second. A 5-run second inning for Minnesota. They have hit 2 home runs tonight, and Liriano will head back to the clubhouse. Tigers go to the bullpen. We'll be back to Target Field. I thought Trev was going to say he hit another homer.
I did too. It sounded like Trev was getting ready to say that, but a single is good enough. It's good to see Acuna back.
Zach Reininger comes on now. Tyler Austin, the batter. So Liriano done after 56 pitches tonight. It's a wall sign windows pitching change.
Yeah, Reininger pitched yesterday as well and looked good. His fastball got up to 96 miles an hour. He's got a decent breaking ball. And Tigers is going to need 7 innings out of their bullpen here tonight. Not the way you want to start off a 4-game series.
8 runs allowed. 4 of them earned. The error by Rodriguez here in the second proving costly. And now Reininger goes outside. 3-0 on Austin. Tyler Austin walked in his first at bat. Three and one.
Reininger was pitching some pretty good baseball in Toledo. And 33 games down there with the Mud Hens. He had a 4-1 record with a sub-3 ERA. He had 48 strikeouts in 46 innings. So Zach was doing a nice job down in Toledo.
Three-2 now on Austin. Zach had a whip of about 1-2 down at Toledo. Got to the big leagues last year with the Tigers. Yet another opportunity for a young Tigers pitcher. Here's the 3-2. Got him. Austin strikes out. That'll end the inning. They scored 5 times. 2-run homer by Sano highlights it.
On the board early in this one. 2-run shot for Nicholas Castellanos in the first. That lead was short-lived. Jorge Polanco with a 3-run shot in the bottom half of the first inning, and Twins weren't done there. Logan Forsythe with his second hit of the day. That was a double that played at 2 in the second, and big Miguel Sanu has been hot lately. Connects for a 2-run shot. That would be the last pitch that Francisco Liriano would throw here tonight.
Tigers got a lot of work to do now. They've got the top of the order. Candelario stands in, and Jamer looks at a strike, quickly down 0-2. Jamer, then a Ducey, and then Castellanos facing the right-hander Irvin Santana, who had an 8-pitch 1-2-3 second. Swing and a miss, and he takes Garrett Candy on 3 pitches.
And a good breaking ball and a good changeup to finish him off. First pitch, little changeup, came back with a breaking ball, then another changeup. So 3 off-speed pitches there to Candelario. Nice action on that changeup.
A Ducey fly to left field in the first inning. Jim had 5 hits on the last homestand. He'll get a lot of time at first base now for the Tigers. Here's the 1-1. Popped him up. Shallow left. Adrianza. 2 away.
And
7 in a row retired by the right-hander Santana.
And Castellanos got himself an 89-mile-per-hour fastball his first time up and hit the ball into the bullpen of the Minnesota Twins.
Homer number 18 for Nicholas.
And Nicholas has been rock steady all year.
That comes up and in, goes to the backstop, and Nick stares out at Santana saying, come on, man, didn't mean it. But anything that comes near the chin will get your attention.
Somebody must be chirping from the Tigers dugout. Santana with a little smile. Ron Gardenhire didn't like it.
Now Gardy is chirping with Manny Gonzalez, who's telling him, all right, that's enough. We were just talking with Gardy today about the Acuna-Urena situation last night. There's a ball low and away.
How close was it?
I don't really think it was that close. Then again, I'm not standing up there either. Two and one now on Castellanos. Santana gave up a walk, a homer, and a double in the first, but nothing since.
It's the hardest pitch Santana's thrown this year at 92. His average fastball all season has been 89 miles an hour, but he reached back to get a little extra there and trying to throw the ball by Castellanos in a 2-1 count. And more than likely he'll come back with another off-speed pitch right here. He can't throw that fastball by Castellanos. Not in this count.
It'll be a walk, so Nick will take a 2-out base on balls. Two-out base runner now for Nico Goodrum.
And Nico sliced a double his first time up down the left field line and continues to torture his former teammates. Nico has 12 homers this year. 4 of those have come against Minnesota.
Goodrum backs out of there, 1-0. Nico now 39 extra base hits, second among American League rookies. It's also second in walks in American League rookies with 30. And all of a sudden it's a problem for Santana to throw a strike. 2-0.
And Nico homered against Santana when Santana pitched against the Tigers 5 days ago at Comerica Park. It was a slider and that Nico hit out to right field. Oh, that's low.
Sure was. Manny Gonzalez gave it to Santana though. 2-1. Irvin now 35 years old, been in the big leagues a long time. Outside now 3-1.
Irvin has pitched over 2,000 big league innings. He's had a nice career. He's made a couple of all-star teams. He used to be a guy when he came up with the Angels that had a 97, 98 mile-per-hour fastball to go along with that slider and the changeup.
Santana Spent the first 8 years of his career with the Angels, was 96 and 80 with the Halos. He's made a couple of all-star teams. Nick will be on the run here with the 3-2 count, 2 outs. And he popped him up. Shallow left field. Sano circling under it, and that'll end the inning. No runs, a walk, 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Target field. Time now for the Lowe's whole team together. Tigers 15-6 here at Target Field since the start of 2016, so they are used to doing some damage here, but they were jumped by the Twins offense here tonight.
Yeah, they were. 8 runs by the Twinkies bats, who've scored 19 runs in the last couple of days. They scored 11 in the 2-game sweep of the Pittsburgh Pirates on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Mitch Garver, Max Kepler, and then Johnny Field in the 3rd.
This is a great home team too. In their last 20 games, they've won 16 of those right here at Target Field. Overall, about 11 games over 500 at home.
1-2.
Here's their home and road splits. Much better everything at home.
Remember how good the Twins were at the Metrodome?
I sure do. What a home court advantage that was. That's where Ron Gardenhire was doing most of his magic against the American League Central.
Garver strikes out, 1 away. Well, as you enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the whole true moment later in tonight's game. Zach Reiniger has come out of the bullpen and quieted things down a bit. He has fanned the first 2 that he has faced. Here is Kepler. Ball 1 inside to Max. Kepler's had his struggles against the Tigers this year. Now 3 for 26. In there, a strike call on the outer edge, 1-1.
Yeah, nice little breaking ball at 80 miles an hour that Reiniger wrapped around the outside corner. And nice job of framing that pitch as well by Tigers catcher McCann. And time now for StatCast AI powered by AWS. And you can see how the Tigers are defending Kepler. And right where he hits the majority of his ground balls. 39% right where Nico Goodrum's standing. 30% at the first baseman Adduci.
2-2. Reininger is out of Hill College in Hillsboro, Texas. He was an 8th round pick back in 2013 by the Tigers. He'll sling that one high, run the count full now, 3-2. Johnny Field waiting on deck. It was his ground ball that was misplayed by the shortstop Ronnie Rodriguez that opened the door for that big 5-run second. Fouled away. Twins still have the making of a very good outfield ride, even though they've traded away a lot of their pieces. You talk about Rosario, and if Buxton comes back healthy and Kepler has some power.
Yeah, we've watched Field run down some balls in the outfield. Jake Cave, good defender. But they sure would like to get Buxton back healthy.
Got him, strike 3. Kepler trying to coax a walk, and Reininger now is fanned 3 in a row. 2 gone.
Pretty good fastball here thrown by Reininger at 96 on the black. And take a look at the glove work here, McCann. Ever so slightly, and grabbing it and pulling it up ever so slightly to get that call from Manny Gonzalez.
Here is Johnny Field.
Good breaking ball.
Field acquired off the waiver wire on August 3rd. 0-2. It's exactly what the Tigers needed here in Reininger. After Liriano was bounced following a 56 pitch effort in the second. Homers to Polanco and Sano tonight. Swing and a miss, and Zach Reininger has faced 4 batters. He has fanned them all.
Look out, Zach.
1, 2, 3, third. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. Top of the fourth here at Target Field. Time now for the Bernstein advantage. Here are the Victor Martinez updated numbers against Santana. 349.
4 homers, and he has 8 RBIs against the veteran right-hander.
Victor fly to right field in his first at bat. And Santana starts him off with a high strike, 0-1.
Yeah, Victor also has some pretty good career numbers in this ballpark.
He'll flare that one toward left field. Long run. It is slicing. It's going to drop fair. And Victor is on his way to second. And he's in there with a double.
Victor, in his last 4 or 5 hits, he has literally beaten the shift, whether batting left-handed or right-handed. His majority of his hits left-handed have gone to left field. The majority of his hits batting right-handed have gone to right field. How about the hustling double here for Victor? Victor announced after the game yesterday that he's probably going to shut it down after this season is over. He's 39 years old, and he says he's got 6 more weeks to play, and he's really going to enjoy the next 6 weeks.
Strike called on Mikey Matuk. It's been a great career among switch hitters. Here are the numbers where Victor stands in Tigers history. Average third, hits third.
Over 2,000 hits.
That's drilled deep to left field. It might go, and Mikey is gone deep. Matuk with a line drive home run. 2-run shot.
That's good to see from Mikey. That is Mikey Matuk's first home run in the big leagues this year.
Matuk down in the minor leagues had 11 at Toledo, and now his first in the majors this year.
He got a fastball at 88 miles an hour at the top of the strike zone and got all over it. He tomahawked that ball into the left field seats, into the first row, as a matter of fact.
Gave Lloyd McClendon a big old hug. There's ball 1 now to McCann. 383 feet on that line drive homer. 8-4 ball game. McCann swings and misses.
Tigers hitters were all rallied around Nick Castellanos when they came in off the field, and it seemed like to me, Mario, they're a little upset at that pitch that Santiago threw over the head of Castellanos, and they jumped all over him.
Here's a drive to deep right field. This ball might have enough, and it does. It is gone. An opposite field home run for McCann, and the Tigers have their 3rd home run of the night. Curly fries tomorrow. 8-5 ball game.
James McCann just loves hitting in this park, just like a lot of other Tigers.
Back-to-back homers for the Tigers. 3-run game now. And there is a lot of life on that Tigers bench. Strike 1 on Ronnie Rodriguez. .400 feet on that home run for McCann. Hit that ball a ton to right center.
Remember how big this ballpark played the first couple of years we came here after they built it? I mean, you couldn't hit a home run here. I mean, you just couldn't. In the last 3 years, this has become a really good hitter's park, and balls have really traveled out frequently now. McCann just hit a ball about 380 feet the opposite way.
That's into shallow right field. It's going to be caught down the run there by Johnny Field. 1 gone.
Here's a look at the McCann home run. Now, they wanted it away, and he got it away. It's a 90-mile-per-hour fastball that McCann just jumps all over.
Believe it or not, that is the first time this year the Tigers have gone back-to-back.
Is that right?
Reyes fouls it back. Matuk and then McCann.
Matuk's like, dude, mine went in the first row. Yours went way up there.
You know what? They both feel great.
Yeah, they do. Both got fastballs. Mikey hit a fastball at 89. McCann hit a fastball that was 90. If you're just joining us, we told you that Irvin Santana's velocity, his average velocity, is down this year from last year.
Chopper left side of the infield. Sano, nice spin move. Pretty good play.
Yeah, they say that's the one play that gives Sano trouble, the one play where he has to go to his left. But he had himself in a nice athletic position on the balls of his feet and got a pretty good jump on this ball, and he was able to snare it and before the ball went into the outfield. Guys having a little fun?
Oh, back to back. Get it?
Back to back, belly to belly.
Candelario struck out in his last at bat. He walked and scored to start the game.
Big hit right there from Mikey Matuk.
Matuk snapping an 0 for 14 with that home run. Ground ball first base side. Backhanding is Mauer. Santana covers. That'll end the inning. However, the Tigers fighting back into this one. We're going back to back with Matuk and McCann. And Lloyd gets some love.
This season, a lot of guys getting opportunities to play here and contribute. John Hicks, we talked earlier today with Ron Gardenhire, underwent successful surgery to repair that bilateral core muscle defect. He actually had it in both hips. So John Hicks, of course, was the everyday first baseman because Miguel Cabrera's out for the season with the biceps injury. So Jim Adduci is going to continue to get a lot of run there at first base. Now, Adduci is the most experienced first baseman they have on the team right now. 26 games at the big league level he's played first. Nico Goodrum has 22 games over at first, and Ronnie Rodriguez with just 6 games. So the Deuce will get an opportunity there. I said, what's the biggest challenge for you right now? He said, I wouldn't say I'm getting more comfortable with the position, but I certainly am starting to understand it a little bit more every time I go out there. I said, what else? You know, Deuce is used to playing out in the outfield. He said, you're a lot closer to the hitters over here.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
He's learning.
You know, I'm thinking of the guys that have played that position. He seems to be the most fluid and most comfortable there. And he'll continue to get those opportunities. Meanwhile, the Tigers going back to the bullpen now. Wall side windows change. Here is Victor Alcantara.
And Alcantara has been pitching some outstanding baseball. You see the numbers, they don't lie. 0.61 ERA. And the league hitting just 200 against Alcantara.
Popped up. Third base side, Ronnie Rodriguez. And one gone.
Alcantara's got some deception in his delivery. And right before he delivers the ball, he's got a little herky-jerkiness with the arm. And I think that's some deception. Hitters don't get a good look at him, and therefore they haven't really gotten good swings at him.
His issue in the minor leagues has been base on balls. He has walked a lot.
He hadn't done that here.
Until this year in the minor leagues at Toledo, when he really cut down on the walks. And now here at the big league level, he hadn't walked many either. And ERA is under 1. The whip is under 1.
Last 5 outings hasn't been scored upon. And Tigers relievers just need to keep putting up some zeros here tonight. And the way that Irvin Santana is pitching for them on the other side, looks like the Tigers might have a chance to score some more runs.
Tomorrow, a walk, a double, 2 runs scored. Here's what Johnny was talking about, Rod, the options currently at first base.
Nico Goodrum did a nice job over at first. He got most of his reps over there earlier in the season before Machado started to struggle at second base. Nico hasn't spent much time over at first base lately since he's taken over the second base position pretty much on a daily basis.
You know, I think the one important thing here, guys, is, you know, you're pretty much filling gaps right now. So Ducey, you know, I don't think anyone's making any illusions that he's going to be the first baseman of the future. I mean, going into this season, they weren't so concerned with first base depth because you had Miguel Cabrera. But being what it is, these guys are getting opportunities to play the field a little bit. Now, Nico may have a long-term possibility playing second base for this club. But for Ducey right now, it's about getting at bats. I mean, the most important thing is being penciled in the lineup every day and getting more at bats because all these guys competing for a job next year.
Rod, do you think it's an advantage for a Ducey to be left-handed at first base?
I really do. I think there are more balls that are hit to his right where he has the glove that he can reach over when he dives and make that play versus reaching over toward the line and trying to take balls that will be headed down the first base line. And I think most managers, if they had their druthers, they would prefer to have a first baseman that threw the ball left-handed.
Logan Forsythe.
Think about all the great first basemen over there, just the Mattinglys of the world and the Eric Hosmers of the world. Just seems like it's been a bunch of left-handed guys over there, you know?
Yeah, no doubt.
Keith Hernandez. John Olerud was a good first baseman.
Two and 0 on Forsythe, a single, double, 2 RBIs. Alcantara with a strikeout. Reininger struck out all 4 batters that he faced, so the bullpen doing the job, and they by and large did a really good job in the homestand. The bullpen ERA was a little over 2.5 on the homestand. They will be called upon to fill the gap here tonight because Liriano knocked out in the second.
Good pitch. 94. Take a look at the delivery here of Alcantara. I mean, he kicks that leg up, and then he has some herky-jerkiness here with the arm. He kind of hesitates, and he throws from that high 3/4 arm slot. He's got 96 with his fastball and some usable off-speed stuff.
Fly ball right field, slicing toward the corner, and Castellanos on the run. It's up against the wall. Forsythe will go to second, his 3rd hit of the game, and nobody can get this guy out.
My goodness, Logan, would you stop it? All 3 of his hits have gone the other way. Whatever scouting report the Tigers have on Logan Forsythe, And they might want to change it for the next 3 days and maybe start pitching him inside a little bit more, because every single hit today has been something that's been away from him. Here's another pitch that's away from Logan at 95, and he hits the other way. That's what we talk about this from time to time, Mario. When you play the very first game of a series, more often than not, that opposing team is going to show that position player, in this case being Forsythe, how they really want to pitch him the entire series, or at least for the night. This is not successful tonight, so they've got to change.
Polanco looks at ball one. Well, Forsythe now a single, double, 2 RBIs.
And he's hitting well over 400 with his new team in 14 games.
This guy not too shabby either. Polanco has knocked in 4 tonight. Has a 3-run homer.
He's really been performing well at home since his suspension was lifted.
Ground ball to second. Nico waits on it. And Polanco is out. No damage done. A 2-out double is stranded. 4 in the books here at Target Field. Ball game. It is 8-5 now as we go to the top of the 5th inning. A spectacular night and a beautiful ballpark, Target Field here in Minneapolis. And the Tigers have Aducey, Castellanos, and Goodrum 2, 3, and 4 facing Irvin Santana, who at one point had an 8-2 lead. Now it's 8-5. And Aducey will look at a strike 0-1.
Yeah, the Minnesota Twins are going to need some length out of Irvin Santana here tonight, because their all-star Jose Barrios yesterday did not last very long, and Paul Molitor needed 7 innings of work out of his bullpen.
A 2-hopper off the glove of Forsythe into center field, base hit.
The Tigers continue to pepper Santana. Menards brings you the big money encounter, and this is what Castellanos did in the first. A home run, 2-run shot, but take a look at the bat flip. He flipped it straight up in the air, and the home plate umpire, Manny Gonzalez, caught it.
Style points for Manny Gonzalez. Here is Nicholas now. He's been on twice, homer and a walk. Strike 1 on Castellanos. In that last at bat, Santana came up and in on Nick, and the ball went to the backstop. There was some chirping going on, and maybe not so coincidentally, the Tigers then hit a couple of homers the very next inning. Here's the 0-1. Nick skies one to center. hit a ton going to the track, going to the wall, and that ball is off the wall. Ducey coming to third base. He'll stop there, and Castellanos with a double. And he almost hit another one out.
Did you think that ball was going to travel that far when it left Castellanos' bat?
No, I thought it was deep enough, but not off the wall.
But Nick's got that classic inside-out swing, and when he keeps his hands close to his body like he did right there, little 89 mile-per-hour fastball that he rips off the out-of-town scoreboard for a double. Ducey wasn't quite sure whether that ball was going to be caught or not, so he got somewhat of a late start. He wasn't able to score.
Kevin Alston, the pitching coach, coming out now. Santana clearly doesn't have it tonight, but they're trying to get him through the middle innings here.
And Santana coming into play had given up 15 earned runs in his 4 starts, and he's given up quite a few more here this evening. Let's take one more look at this swing right here. This ball is inside, but you see where Nicholas's hands are over in front of his body. That's a good power position because you're looking directly down on the baseball, and that's where Nicholas, when he gets balls in that area, does the majority of his damage. There's a lot of right-handed batters that would try to simply pull that fastball at 89 miles an hour to left field, but Nicholas is one of the rare ones that could go the other way, like J.D. Martinez and Miguel Cabrera.
Nico now is trying to drive in a couple of runs here.
Tigers back in business.
Action in the bullpen. Trevor May warming up for the Minnesota Twins.
You made a wise decision too, and Ram picked the stick today when you chose Nicholas first.
He is awfully tough to pass up.
Yeah.
Even when he's struggling.
He's having a great day.
Two and 0.
Here's where Santana is in somewhat of a dilemma. I mean, he's only got 89 with the fastball, which means he can't throw it by Nico. I mean, his best chance of getting a swing and miss is probably on something off speed. There's a changeup, and Nico lays off of it. Nice job, Nico.
Three and 1 on Goodrum. Martinez lurking in the on-deck circle. Second and third, and nobody out. Goodrum in the ball game, double and a pop-up. Going to loosen ball 4, and that's going to load the bases. Tigers in great shape now, and that's going to be it. Santana's out of the ball game. Paul Molitor says that'll be enough of that. Single, double, and a walk. His 8-2 lead is just about evaporated. And the Twins will go to the bullpen now. Santana gives up the baseball. We'll be back.
Flores over Santiago, the first base coach. Now time for the DT Energy. DTE Energy, know your own power. Here's one reason why Irvin Santana pitched very cautiously to Nico Goodrum. This is like America Park. A changeup and a slider, identical pitches, identical swings for the most part. You get a look at it from the front, you get a look at it from the side. And Nico Goodrum with tremendous rhythm and timing. 2 big home runs at Comerica Park when the Twins were there last week.
So it'll be Victor Martinez here with the bases loaded, nobody out. Trevor May coming out of the bullpen. Santana knocked out here in the 5th inning. He'll go 4+3 batters. It's a Wallside Windows pitching change.
And May pitching in only his 6th game in the big leagues this year. 4.23 ERA, 4 2/3 innings with a 1.93 earned run average.
May missed all of last year with Tommy John surgery. 2016 his last full year in the majors.
And very important for Victor Martinez, to the best of his ability, to keep the ball off the ground. And he's done a nice job of that in the last couple of weeks or so. Victor has really swung the bat well. A lot of really good at bats lately coming from Victor Martinez.
Had a pinch hit single yesterday. 5-game hitting streak for Martinez, who doubled and scored in the 4th.
We already told you that he has really great numbers in this ballpark.
2-0 with no place to put him.
And here's those numbers at Target Field. Here's where Victor will cheat with the front hip if he thinks that May will throw him a fastball inside. And the key is don't cheat too much to where you get around it and hit the ball to the second baseman.
(3-0) on V-Mart.
Tigers with some really good plate appearances here in the 5th.
Mikey Matuk waiting on deck. He's already homered in this game. Tigers trailed 8-2 at one point. And now they're in great shape here. Bases loaded, nobody out. 3-0 on Martinez. Victor came in the 3rd toughest to strike out in the American League. Here's the 3-1. And he walked in, ball 4 to force in a run. RBI for Martinez.
What a patient at bat there by Victor. Refusing to leave the strike zone. Unselfish at bat, taking the walk.
Now you got Mikey Matuk coming in. 2-run shot started the Tiger comeback in the 4th inning. And Mikey looks at ball 1. So when you come in with the bases loaded and nobody out, you need to throw strikes, and May has not done that.
And Mikey's going to get himself a really good fastball to hit right here.
In there, a strike call. 95 from May.
Victor Martinez over at first base having a nice long conversation with Joe Mauer. Both guys have had marvelous careers. A lot of hits between those two over there.
Went around, and the count now is 1-2. Well, over 2,000 for each.
Yeah, over 4,000 hits standing over there, chopping it up. They've competed against each other a lot too, because they both have been in the Central most of their careers.
Here's the 1-2. 2-2 now on Matuk. McCann waiting on deck. Ducey got this rally started with a single. Castellanos nearly hit his second home run of the night, a double off the right field wall. High, ball 3.
He wouldn't walk another run, would he?
Well, we're about to find out very shortly. Lanky did a good job to check that swing. This is not a good ratio for Trevor May. Not when you come in with the bases full. The 3-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. First out of the inning.
And Tigers got back in this contest in the top half of the 4th inning on back-to-back home runs. It was Matuk first with a 2-run shot against Irvin Santana, the Twins starter this evening, and then it was McCann. He went the opposite way for a solo shot. Back-to-back.
Max home run was his 7th of the year. Tigers have had the fewest home runs in the American League, but they've hit 3 of them tonight. Ball 1 to McCann.
And the runners at second and third, still the responsibility of Irvin Santana. All 6 of the previous runs scored or earned.
Target field, the site of James McCann's first major league home run. He hit it inside the park here a couple of years ago. The one he hit earlier tonight was anything but inside the park. On the outer edge, just caught the outside corner. McCann now looking down at the ground in protest.
James McCann flew out to center field his first time up to the base of the 403 sign, and Max Kepler ran that one down. Second time up, solo home run the opposite way.
One and 2. 94 right at the letters, and McCann let it fly. Tigers have the tying run at second, the go-ahead run at first, 1 out.
More than likely, May's going to go right back up there with a mid-90s fastball. James is going to have to lay off of it. He struck Matuk out on the same exact pitch.
May does not seem to be in any kind of hurry. Here's the 1-2. Low ball 2, smothered there by Garver to keep it in front of him.
Tremendous block by Garver. With the runner on third base, it's a risky pitch anyway, but when you got confidence in your catcher to get down and block it, you don't mind bearing it. The technique right there is picture perfect for you catchers at home.
Bases loaded, walk to Martinez, driving in a run, 1 out there, still loaded. The 2-2. Low ball 3, and now it's full again. And Trevor May's been on the break all night. He went to 3-2 on Matuk before he struck him out. Walked him. Another one comes in with a bases loaded walk. The second of the inning for May. Score Castellanos. It's 8-7.
That run charged to the starter, Irvin Santana. What are the chances of Ronnie Rodriguez getting a walk? I knew I'd get a chuckle out of you.
I'd say, well, not good.
I knew I'd get a chuckle out of you.
What are the chances of him taking the first pitch? Come on, Ronnie. Ronnie now a chance to give the Tigers the lead. 2 runs in, bases loaded walks to McCann and Martinez. He took it, strike 1.
You know he wanted to swing bad, but after a couple of walks, he just couldn't do it.
He couldn't do it, no.
He just
right.
couldn't do it.
He wanted to let that thing fly.
You know he did.
Way high, 1 ball and 1 strike, so May continues to scuffle here.
They've got some decent arms in their outfield. It's going to be a decision for Dave Clark if the ball's hit sharply into the outfield with Victor Martinez and being the base runner at second base. You don't want to run yourself into an out, so Dave Clark's already predetermined in his mind what he will do with Victor.
1-2. Well, the ratio is not getting any better for Trevor May.
Can't let him off the hook.
No.
Cannot let him off the hook.
Now the 1-2. Swing and a miss. And Rodriguez down on strikes for the second out. Well, it's going to bring up Victor Reyes now. Victor strikeout, ground out. Tying run still at third. Reyes swings and misses. Fastball again, mid-90s from May, and he threw it by him. Santana started the inning. He allowed a single, a double, and a walk to load the bases. May has come on to walk in 2. Up and in, 1-1.
If you're Nico Goodrum, you have to at least anticipate that May at some point in time might want to throw a breaking ball here to Victor Reyes, and if he does bounce it, you want to make sure you get a good jump so that you can score.
Trevor May has thrown 23 pitches.
Not many strikes either.
1-2.
Change up there at 86.
Now the crowd's starting to get into it here, trying to help May out. Strikeouts of Matuk and Rodriguez in this inning, and now he's got Reyes in the hole. Again, another good job there by Garver.
Check out Nico Goodrum at third base, the secondary lead. This is what I'm talking about. You got to anticipate that ball's down. He's thinking about scoring, but he didn't get far enough away from the catcher.
Two and two on Reyes. Little chopper back to the mound. And that will end the inning. The Tigers get 2. They will leave them loaded But it's now a one-run game. Brought to you by Bell Tire. For tires and auto service, everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And by Chevrolet, the most awarded and fastest growing brand the last 4 years overall. Got a wild one here tonight, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
It is the proverbial slugfest.
Exactly, old-fashioned slugfest.
Santana's final line, he goes 4+, 7 hits, 7 runs, so he was not affected, nor was Liriano tonight.
And Tigers got off to a lead here early, 2-0 in the first on a Castellanos homer. That lead didn't last long.
Alcantara goes back out there. Victor gave up a double, no damage in the fourth. He got Sano to lead things off here in the bottom of the fifth.
And be careful here with Sano. Lots of power.
Sano and then Austin and then Garver. Sano hit a 2-run shot to the opposite field back in the second, building an 8-2 lead for Minnesota, but that has all but disappeared tonight.
Yeah, Minnesota, they probably thought they were going to have a laugher tonight. Ooh.
Oh, man.
He hit it out of the stadium.
That thing is way foul, but it's way out of here.
How you hit him all the way up there? My God. He almost hit it out of here.
10 homers on the year for Sano, who spent the majority of the last couple of months in the minor leagues. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, they wanted him to get in better shape, so they sent him down to Florida. And they wanted Sano to drop a few pounds, and he did lose some weight while he was down there. They felt like he was playing at too heavy at the beginning of the season, and his performance was down.
Swing and a miss, and Alcantara with another strikeout, one away here in the fifth.
He's been dealing.
Tigers battle the White Sox. No, they don't. They battle the Cubs in a 2-game interleague series. The Chicago Cubs coming to town Tuesday, Wednesday, the 21st, 22nd at 7:10. Great seats still available. If you'd like to purchase, call 866-66-TIGER, or if you'd like, go to tigers.com.
Now, did that read say White Sox?
No, it said Cubs.
Oh.
I jumped the gun. I saw Chicago.
Oh, really?
And I assumed White Sox. One away, and here's a ground ball foul to third base. Well, we mentioned the Tigers bullpen did a really good job in the homestand. They're doing an effective job here again tonight. Reininger, an inning and a third, he struck out all 4 batters.
With a strong 6 weeks to end the year, Alcantara will be pitching himself very much into the conversation next year to pitch in that bullpen when the season begins. Ooh, that's wicked.
Gardy was talking
was
about that motion of the blade is wind up very herky-jerky, and he's been able to master that while still keeping his delivery intact.
Deception.
And repeatable.
Always works out of the stretch, as do most relievers.
Tigers gave up Cameron Maben to get him from the Angels a couple of off seasons ago.
Cameron Maben finds himself in a pennant race again.
Swing and a miss. 2 more strikeouts for Alcantara.
Cameron's with the Seattle Mariners. Alcantara continues to dazzle in the big leagues. He ain't giving up much. I mean, that's some late life on that slide piece right there. Here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch on Alcantara. 96 has been his best fastball, and he can sit at 96. And his two-seamer, when he throws it at about 94, man, it's got some late running action in on the right-hander's hands.
Well, you total up the numbers of Alcantara and Reininger, and they have struck out 7 batters.
That's one of the reasons why the Tigers have been able to get back in this game. Their bullpen has slowed down the attack of the Minnesota Twins, and their offense, the Tigers' offense, is perked up.
In fact, they've struck out 7 of 10 batters they face. Here's a ground ball foul. 1 ball, 1 strike on Mitch Garver. Fly out, strikeout. Two and one now on Garver. Both clubs having to go to the bullpen early in this game. Tigers gave up 8 runs in the first 2 innings as Liriano was chased out of the game. Just got a piece of it. 2-2 now. Ball to 95 riding in on Garver.
It's 95, but it's not straight. That 95's got some nice little tailing action to it.
$17 of the 25 he has thrown have been strikes. Popped up left side of the infield for Ronnie Rodriguez, and Alcantara with a 1-2-3 5th inning. This morning the music world lost one of the greatest singers of all time. Detroit's own Aretha Franklin, an 18-time Grammy Award winner, the first woman ever inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and an absolutely unmistakable voice. Aretha Franklin passed away at her home in Detroit at the age of 76. 7 is our score as we go to the 6th inning, and Mario and Rod back here at Target Field, and this one looking like a laugher early on for the Minnesota Twins. Give the Tigers some credit, though. They were spunky offensively tonight.
Man, they have been getting some good at-bats. Some guys driving the ball out of the ballpark. 3 home runs today. The bullpen, Reiniger and Alcantara stepped up and allowed the Tigers offense to get back in the game as well.
How about Alcantara, man? 2 innings of scoreless baseball with a few strikeouts mixed in. Pretty good.
He looks good, man. He's got 95, 96 with movement. He's got a nice little breaking ball. He's got that deception in his delivery. They don't get good looks at him, and they haven't been getting any good swings at Alcantara since he came to the big leagues.
And not to be outdone, Zach Reiniger faced 4 batters and struck out all 4 in his relief effort. So the Tigers down 1 have the top of the lineup up there. It'll be Jeimer Candelario. Jeimer, then Adduci, then Castellanos.
Already the 4th plate appearance of the evening for Jeimer Candelario. He's been the leadoff hitter the last 5 or 6 days.
Pulled at first base for Mauer, and he'll tag the bag for the out. Did you happen to see the Tigers game notes today, Ron?
I did. Real cool. And all Aretha Franklin songs. Rock steady, respect, you're all I need to get by, call me.
You were singing all of them today too.
Yeah. Oh me, oh my. What's your favorite? I used to like rock steady, man.
Well, I mean, it's hard to go against respect.
That's tight.
I don't know. I'd have to think about it. There's a swing and a foul back by Adduci.
Aretha Franklin started singing in her father's church. Her father was a pastor in Detroit. What a voice. The Queen of Soul. That says it all. Beautiful lady.
Now the 0-1. 0-2 on Jim Adduci, who got it rolling in the 5th with a leadoff single. Tigers would eventually score 2 on a couple of bases loaded walks. One for 3 tonight for Adduci. He busted him inside that time. 1-2. There you go. Held up, so says John Lipka down at third base. Twins came in 17-6 in their last 23 at Target Field, or the Tigers, I should say, their last 23 here at Target Field. They've won a lot here lately.
It's a nice take by Deuce. Yeah, something's got to give here tonight, partner, because the Minnesota Twins are as hot as all get out right here at the crib, and winning 16 of their last 20, and the Tigers have walked around this place like at times they're playing a home game.
Here's the 3-2. Trevor May came on in the 5th inning, and now he's up to 35 pitches. Walked 2, struck out 2. There is Nicholas Castellanos having a huge night.
And Tigers have already received 5 free passes tonight. May in jeopardy of walking the 6th Tiger.
Ground ball to short. Polanco has it. And Adduci hustling down the line is out by a step.
Here is the 1-800 call Sam call of the game, and it happened back in the very first frame. It was an 89-mile-per-hour fastball thrown by Irvin Santana, and a nice little bat flip there by Nicholas Castellanos as he circled the pillows. It's funny how me and Simo were having a conversation yesterday on Inside Corner
About?
on Tigers Live about bat flips and their place in the game these days.
And your opinion is?
I think it's fine. I mean, late in games, you know, big moments. big home runs. Not a huge fan of necessarily the bat flip in the first.
Or the bat flip after a single.
I'm sorry, Nicholas.
Well, I'm not sure Castellanos meant to flip that
No.
thing. You know, I think he was just trying to get rid of it. It may have caught in his hand and just flipped in the air. I'm trying to help him out here.
Yeah, you are. You looked awfully swaggy, awfully stylish.
Zach McAllister warming up in the Tigers bullpen. Appears he will be next. A double homer and a walk for Nicholas. Two and one.
What do you think about the bat flip?
I agree with you. I think, you know, I go back to the Bautista bat flip in the playoffs
That was
a couple of years
fine.
ago. That to me is just pure electricity.
And had Rajay Davis wanted to flip his bat after that
Exactly.
big home run in
Yep.
the World Series a couple of years, I'm cool with that too.
Yep. I'm with you. Yeah, it's early in the game that where it's not a big moment. Yeah, I think that's a little much, but I think players need to show some emotion, individuality.
I think we are starting to see that with all the young talent in the game today. I mean, baseball has never been in a situation where we've had this many young, bright stars. I mean, stars.
Ball three high on Nick. Yeah, there's a ton of them in both leagues. I mean, look at that Atlanta team alone with Ozzie Albies and Acuna.
You got the Baez kid in Chicago who is electrifying. You've got Lindor and Ramirez, a couple of guys we see all the time. Acuna Jr., the young kid you mentioned, him in Atlanta.
Bouncing ball to short. Polanco a step to his right. Nick is out. And it'll be a 1-2-3 inning. On our way to the bottom of the sixth at Target Field.
Has done marvelous work in the last couple of days. Real nice pitch with his breaking ball, 95, 96 with his fastball. Alcantara as well has not given up anything in his last 6 outings. That pitch right there to Joe Mauer, I'm not sure what it was, but it was absolutely nasty. Pitch to a lot of contact, balls on the ground, lots of soft contact. These guys are dealing. 7 strikeouts.
Yeah, between them 7 punch outs. That was after Liriano allowed 8 runs in a little over an inning in this ball game. So good work.
That was Reiniger when he had those flowing locks.
Oh yeah, got to update that photo. Well, the Tigers go back to the bullpen now, so we go to the bottom of the 6th. Zach McAllister is on now as Kepler stands in and looks at ball 1.
And very important for McAllister to continue to put up zeros.
Kepler field Adrianza 7, 8, 9. Been a tough night for Max. He has struck out twice. Here are the numbers in the wall side windows pitching change.
And Zach's got a fastball that will reach 96, 97. You can see the numbers kind of elevated this year. 5.24 ERA. He was outstanding last year out of that Tri bullpen, but collectively just about everybody in Cleveland's bullpen struggled the first 2 months of the season.
Yeah, last year 50 appearances, a 2.6 ERA.
I'll say that's good.
66 strikeouts, 62 innings. Ripped to right field, base hit. It'll be a leadoff single here for Kepler. Let's go to Johnny Kane.
Well, you guys take a look around the diamond right now and the outfield. You see all the young Latin players on this Detroit Tigers team right now. And I had a chance to talk with some of the guys today about the impact that Victor Martinez has left with them. Of course, Victor last night alluding that this would be his final season. 16 years in the bigs. Of course, he turns 40 in December. But Ron Garnier said it's not just the Latin players. It's really all of us. It's the coaching staff. It's everybody. He said, I used to manage against Victor all those years, and he used to beat the living fire out of us with his bat. So, but you heard a guy like Ronnie Rodriguez saying that it was special for him being a kid growing up in the Dominican, watching him on TV all these years, and then having the final 6 years to call him a teammate. Jamer Candelario called the relationship special, and he said it's a privilege and a blessing to be able to be a teammate of Victor Martinez. So again, you know, his impact on this entire club cannot be understated this year.
Johnny, you've chatted with Victor Martinez. I get the feeling that he is really going to, no matter what happens, the final 6 weeks of the season, really enjoy the ride here down the stretch.
Yeah, he's been a lot more reflective, and you guys know Vic. I mean, he didn't want a farewell tour. He knew at the beginning of spring training this was going to be his final year, but he didn't want some big pomp and circumstance of a farewell tour, although a lot could argue that he deserves it. But he's going to savor it. He's a lot more smiley in the clubhouse now, and really he's just got an opportunity to kind of impart his wisdom onto a lot of these younger players.
Eddie Rosario, the batter here, with one on and nobody out. Rod, do you think they're going to shower him with gifts once the final days come down?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so. I don't think they're going to do that. They may do something in Detroit, and they may do something for him in Cleveland, but I don't think they're going to do it all over the league.
No, that's not what I meant. Yeah, I think maybe the teammates, Tigers. Oh, that ball hit well. Reyes on the run, though, and he'll get there.
Wow, what a jump by Reyes.
Victor, man, showing some jets.
He was over on the second base side. He was over in right center field when that ball left Rosario's bat. It looked like it had double written all over it. You see where he took off from. And he ran 75 feet at least to run down that would-be double. Nice play. The thing that's amazing about Victor Martinez is that at age 39, man, when we're seeing guys that are throwing 97, 98, 99 on a nightly basis, he can still get to that at age 39.
Well, that is God-given. I mean, you can work as hard as you want, but you do have to have a special skill set to be able to take that into your late 30s and still be able to play the game with the way it is structured now, as you mentioned, with all the guys coming out throwing high 90s heat.
Yep, tremendous hand-eye coordination. Victor's had that for a couple of decades.
Adrianza, the batter. He drives one high in the air and deep to right. Castellanos going back. He looks up and it's gone. A-Ray Adrianza hits his 5th of the year.
He has worn us out this year. I don't know what it is about the Tigers, but Adrianza has put a whooping on Tigers pitching. And we've talked about how well the Tigers bullpen has pitched lately. McAllister has struggled lately. He gave up 3 big runs the other day, and these are 2 huge runs right here. It's a 90-mile-per-hour little two-seam fastball or something that McAllister knew was gone as soon as he threw it. So all three of the hitters that have come to the plate here in this inning have hit the ball extremely hard against McCown.
They have really hard. In fact, even the out, Rosario hammered one deep left center. 2-run shot by Adrianza, back up to a 3-run lead now for Minnesota. Joe Mauer, the batter. A little bit outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. You know, we're talking about how there seem to be more home runs hit in this ballpark now as opposed to when it first opened up. I've heard a theory on that.
What'd you hear?
That the cement has cured. It took about a year or so for the cement in the stadium to cure. And now that it has, the ball flies out a little bit more. I don't have an engineering degree, so I have no idea if that's true.
You're a college graduate, though, so I'll buy it.
Here's a single by Mauer.
That is now 4 straight hits, and look at Adrianza. He got that leg up, he got it down, and that pitch at the bottom of the strike zone was in his nitro zone.
Mauer has his second hit. That'll bring up Forsythe, and well, nobody's been able to get him out. 2 doubles, a single, 2-run score.
Adrianza, as I mentioned, has been killing us. 379 this year against Tigers pitching. They got to pitch him inside this time. I bet you they do. Breaking ball, first of all. You can't pitch him away again. That's much we do know. Forsythe with 3 hits. All 3 hits the opposite way today.
"20 hits now in the month of August. And it's only August 16th.
Paul Molitor was saying just yesterday that Forsythe doesn't panic. He's got a slow heartbeat. He's a veteran. He lets the ball get deep in the strike zone. He can still fight off fastballs. And if you hang him a breaking ball, he can really hit that ball hard because there's a lot of trust in his swing. As a matter of fact, he says he's been good for some of his younger hitters to watch.
Yeah, I believe that. You mentioned a couple of years ago, what do you have, 20?
20 homers, yeah, in Tampa.
The 1-2. Well, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app and take Fox Sports Detroit and Tigers baseball with you wherever you go. It's made available by Oakland University. Addison Reed is in the bullpen for Minnesota, watching the action now. Right back up the middle, another hit for Forsythe.
My goodness.
His last swing, he looked like he was barely going to stay alive.
And that swing right there is just an unselfish swing. This swing right here, there's an adjustment. You've got 2 strikes, and you're saying to yourself, I'm not going to strike out, so I'm going to wait. And he just puts the ball in play. There's some trust in that swing right there. And he still hasn't seen a fastball inside tonight.
Yep. Well, 2 on now, and here is Polanco. It'll make it an even 10 hits now for the Twins.
And 4th career 4-hit game for Logan Forsythe. These guys aren't getting cheated, are they?
No, Polanco had a huge right there. And a 3-run homer in the first inning. Sac fly in the second inning. Polanco hit his home run right-handed against lefty Liriano early in the game. Just missed. McAllister was a starter in his early days with the Indians. Transitioned to the bullpen in 2015. A little outside again. He went right back out there. Here's the 2-1. 3-1. And you got Miguel Sano waiting on deck.
Twins with 10 hits on 10 runs on 10 hits. Tigers with 7 runs on 7 hits today. Each team making the most out of their hits.
In the air towards center field. Reyes coming on. Diving, can't get it. It'll roll by him. Mauer to third. They're going to hold him there, and the bases are loaded.
That is 5 hits in this inning that Zach McAllister has given up. He cannot get these left-handers out. It's a great effort by Victor Reyes, who already had made one real nice play in this inning going into left center field gap. Tigers going to buy a little time right here. I think they're going to try to get Wilson up and hot to get him in the game. Doesn't take Alex Wilson long to get hot.
Wilson, or I should say Reyes, scoping over his cheat sheet, and there's Alex Wilson.
If the Tigers are going to win this game, boy, they might have to get a pitching change here.
They're loaded up for Sano, only 1 out, and they have a couple of runs in, and the home run by Adrianza. And now here comes Gardy.
Yeah.
It's going to be it for McAllister. He faced 6 batters, 5 reached. Gardy going to take as much time as he can before he signals.
I'm surprised the home plate umpire has given him this much time.
I know it. That's going to be it for Zach. To the bullpen go the Tigers. We'll be back.
Moment. The last time that Sano was in the batter's box, he had an opposite field home run into the first row against Francisco Liriano. Actually, that was the last pitch that Francisco threw of the night. Sano's been swinging the bat well the last 2 weeks.
So here is Sano with the bases full, 1 out. And the numbers on Alex Wilson. He has been used extensively this year.
He's pitching well. And 3.83 ERA for Alex in his 44th game. Sano is 2 for 7. Excuse me, 0 for 1 against Wilson.
One ball, no strikes on Sano. Mauer at third, Forsythe at second, and Polanco at first. Playing Sano to pull. Boy, 5 for 6 for the Twins wrist tonight. 2-0. (10-7). The Twins have the lead. They get 2 runs here in the 6th inning. They hadn't scored since the 2nd.
If Alex has any confidence whatsoever in his breaking pitch, he probably needs to throw one right here. It's going to be awfully tough to throw a fastball by Sano. Alex needs a ground ball in the worst way. Get a double play, get out of the inning.
Oh, he's gone to 3-0 now with no room for Sano. Tyler Austin waiting on deck. Walked in, ball 4. That'll force in a run.
Goodness.
Third bases loaded walk for both teams tonight combined. Bauer comes in to score. 11-7 ball game. Here's our game summary tonight. 6 combined home runs by 6 different players, and Liriano just didn't have it tonight.
No, he sure didn't have it. Only 1 2/3 innings of work for Francisco. 4 earned runs. He gave up 8 runs total.
Tyler Austin now.
That base on balls very odd for Alex Wilson. He doesn't walk many.
No, he's thrown 5 straight out of the zone now. Austin has punched out twice tonight. 1-1. This is the 8th man to bat in the inning. McAllister came on, gave up a single and a 2-run homer. Swing and a miss again. 1-2. All 3 pitches low and away to Austin.
Austin hasn't been able to get a piece of him.
McCann went down to get that one. They stayed away again. 2-2. Wilson last pitched on the 13th against the White Sox, went 1 inning, allowing 1 run. High fly ball right field, chasing Castellanos back. Forsythe will tag. He'll come in to score. Throw coming into second base, and Sano slides in safely there. Sacrifice fly for Austin to drive in another run. That ball jumped as well.
It's hard to believe how far these balls have been traveling to right field. I mean, it must be some kind of a jet stream blowing out in that direction today.
I mean, he almost got that ball to the warning track.
I know.
And it seemed like a routine fly ball that Nick might have a play on. 2 outs now, second and third for Mitch Garver. 9th hitter in the inning.
Those runs charged to Zach McAllister. And McAllister still responsible for Polanco at third base. A lot of crooked numbers today. 3-run inning, 4-run inning, another 4-run inning.
Well, they're not done. Base hit to right field. 1 run scores. To no rounding third. They send him home. Nick's throw on the way. Not in time. It'll be a 2-out, 2-run single for Mitch Garver.
Alex Wilson, for the most part, has been very good when coming into the game, inheriting runners. Coming into play today, he had inherited 28 and only 5 had scored. All 3 of the inherited runners he inherited this inning have scored.
So Kepler bats for the 2nd time in the inning. He led off the inning with a single. Look out. This has turned into a 6-run 6th for Minnesota. And they lead 14-7. One ball and 1 strike.
And Minnesota's offense all of a sudden has woken up in the last 2 games. They scored 11 runs in the last 2 days against Pittsburgh, 14 here tonight. That's 25 runs last 3 days.
Well, a mixed bag for the Tigers bullpen tonight because Reininger and Alcantara were great.
Yep.
But McAllister struggled here in the 6th, and Wilson now has given up a walk, a sac fly, and a 2-run single.
2nd consecutive outing that McAllister has struggled.
On the outer edge. 2-2. Almost hit him. 3-2 on Kepler. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Rolled foul. Kepler stays alive. Tonight we've had 21 runs on 19 hits between the 2 squads. The Tigers have committed 2 errors as well.
And we got a lot of baseball left too.
No, it's only the 6th.
Yeah.
Runner again goes on 3-2, and it's fouled back out of play. Well, the Vikings have a shiny new stadium. Otherwise, I'd be able to sell you some Vikings Lions here today. 14-7.
Right.
And this is the first of what will be a 4-game series this weekend.
And both teams are having to dip into their bullpens quite a bit in the first game of the series. And I told you that and Minnesota needed 7 innings of relief out of their bullpen yesterday.
Right back up the middle and right through into center field. Right through the wickets of Candelario.
That went right through the legs of Wilson, and it went right through the legs of Candelario. Can't make this stuff up.
Have you seen it go through the wickets to 2 guys?
Yep.
1.
Never, ever.
2.
Candy just get down. My goodness.
Error charge to Candelario. Now they got him at first and third, and Rosario will bat again.
And Candelario would never make this excuse, and I'm not making an excuse for him either, but he's usually not fielding ground balls from that particular position right there.
Rosario hit a ball to the gap in left center that was run down by Reyes earlier in the inning. This is the 41st pitch thrown by the Tigers staff in this 6th inning.
And the Tigers had done such a wonderful job getting back into this game.
Here's the 1-0 to Rosario. Tigers were down 8-2. They got it to within 8-7. You look back at this game, they had the bases loaded.
Yep.
Only one out. They only got the 2 runs.
Yep.
And they couldn't get the big hit from the bottom of the lineup.
Yeah, we'll look back on that.
Lifted foul. Rosario did not start tonight with the lefty Liriano on the hill for the Tigers. Came on as a pinch hitter earlier in this inning. Meanwhile, Dan Gladden's got a stretch out there. Former Tiger looks a little fatigued.
Yeah, he does. He's having a blast out there, though.
Ball high. Meanwhile, the Hall of Famer Jack just kind of chilling out in right field. If you weren't with us earlier, the Twins radio broadcasters are doing something different tonight. Jack is out in right. Apparently he's been riding on the foul pole. And Gladden's out in left. On the ground to the right side and through. Base hit.
Oh, good.
That'll get another run in. Garver scores. Kepler to third, and the Twins are pouring it on now. Turned into an extremely ugly inning. 15-7. And the Tigers host the Central Division rivals Chicago White Sox on Saturday the 25th at 6:10. First 10,000 fans receive a 1968 50th anniversary Mickey Lolich bobblehead. For ticket information, go to Tigers.com. That is Saturday, August 25th. Mark that down on your calendar. How's the score sheet doing over there?
Well, it's doing all right. Too much red on it, though.
This is a 7-run inning for the Twins.
They've had a 3-run frame, a 5-run frame, and a 7-run frame, and they're not done yet.
Ray Adrianza homered earlier in the inning. He is up there again. This will be the 25th pitch alone for Wilson. And he is the second Tiger reliever in the inning. Zach McAllister started, gave up the home run to Adrianza, then gave up 3 straight singles. And then Wilson came on. Pulled foul. 0-2 on Adrianza.
A nice little two-seam fastball right there that Wilson tried to get inside on Adrianza. It didn't come back enough to get the call from Manny Gonzalez, who was the home plate umpire.
Back him out of there again, 2-2.
Alex not as efficient here tonight with his strike throwing as he usually is. He's thrown 28 total pitches, and he has missed the strike zone with almost half of those.
Rod, here is the 50th pitch of the inning.
My goodness.
And he missed with it. Now he's gone to 3-2. And there is no action in the Tigers bullpen. Wilson has to get out of this inning.
In case you're wondering, the 14 runs the Tigers have given up here today are the most they've given up all season. Excuse me, 15 runs.
Toward left field, slicing, but this one heads into foul ground. Nice catch.
Yeah, even the ball boys showing out.
What do you got on the form here?
Hot dog. Rubbing it in.
And again, the 3-2. Ground ball foul. Top of the order waiting, Joe Mauer. Twins showing us tonight while they're at 35-24 at home, they have done their best work here this year.
They say they just love playing in front of these fans.
Ground ball, and Goodrum has it there, and that'll finally end the inning. But a 7-run sixth for Minnesota, and we go to the 7th inning at Target Field. Now a 7-run sixth for the Twins. Ram picked the stick update. What do we got?
Well, you've had a very nice night tonight.
I have.
11 points. I've done okay tonight. Everybody's done okay for the most part.
Absolutely. We've had, what, 3 home runs in this game?
Yeah, Simo's the only one that that hasn't checked in yet. Still got a few more innings to go.
Twins going back to the bullpen. Looks like Addison Reed will come into the ball game.
And Reed pitching in his 45th contest. And 43 2/3 innings logged so far this year. 38 strikeouts. He's only walked 13. And so Addison's going to be around the plate. He's a former closer. He used to close games for the Chicago White Sox. Throws across his body.
Rosario stays the game and plays right field. And he's gone ahead now, 0-2. Addison Reed, as many as 40 saves for Chicago. That was in the 2013 season. He had a lot of them for Chicago.
He threw a lot harder then. He used to be a guy that was in the mid-90s. Now his average heater's right around 90, 91.
Third round pick way back in 2010 for the White Sox. High fly ball right field. That one is hit well. It's going to the track, going to the wall. And Nico Goodrum has hit one out of here.
He did it again.
He just continues to torture his former team. A leadoff home run in the 7th. How about Nico?
I'm telling you, man.
That is the 4th home run of the night for the Tigers.
Nico has 13 homers total this year, and 5 of the home runs have come against his former teammate. And that little breaking ball looks identical to the 2 home runs that he hit last week at Comerica Park. A little slider that he flipped over the right field gate. All 3 of the home runs he's hit in the last week against his former team all look the same.
Mike Gerber is batting for Victor Martinez. Swing and a miss. Tigers came into this game with just 94 home runs, dead last in the league, but they've hit 4 of them tonight. And here are the Nico numbers.
Nico has recorded at least 1 RBI in 6 consecutive games.
Slice to left field on a line. It's going to be caught there by Adrianza.
It is fascinating, really, the year that Nico Goodrum is having, really out of nowhere. I mean, when the season began, he wasn't playing every single day. And to think of where he ranks among all rookies that have been playing for the most every day, it's remarkable.
Well, it's got to be more than just coincidence that he's doing so well against Minnesota, isn't it?
Well, obviously, he probably gets up to go up against his former team, just like most guys would. But the thing for Nico, he's been able to stay in the moment. He really hasn't, you know, tried to do too much, which was what some guys would try to do when they go up against their former team. I know Nico still has a lot of friends on the Minnesota team, and he's showing out in front of them.
Line to center, and Kepler runs it down. Matuk hit it hard, but he's on number 2. .407 feet for Goodrum, who, by the way, had a grand total of 17 major league at bats last year for the Twins.
Yeah, they didn't give him any at bats, and this is after having a great year in AAA.
Now James McCann.
But Minnesota was in a pennant race last year.
Good point.
And they had a lot of guys that were playing well, so there really was no consistent playing time for Nico Goodrum last September.
Max had a nice night. He's homered. He's walked with the bases loaded. 2 RBIs tonight for the Tigers catcher. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And despite the pitching struggling tonight for Detroit, they have still had some really nice at-bats collectively. They haven't given away many at-bats here this evening.
The numbers would agree with you. One and 2. Tiger box, Castellanos, Goodrum. Each with 2 hits. Again, the Tigers have 4 homers. Nico becomes the 4th. With the 4 home runs tonight, Arby's might have to throw in an extra curly fry in there.
Yeah, they may as well. Because Arby's hadn't given out many curly fries this season.
Full count now, 3-2 on McCann. Joe Jimenez warming up in the Tigers bullpen. Ground ball to third. Sano gobbles it up. McCann is out. That'll end the inning. Tigers get a run on a homer by Nico Goodrum. Coming up, the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch. Nonetheless.
Yeah, nice heads up play there by Jerickson Profar.
First one since 2009 for Texas. Well, here is Joe Jimenez now as we go to the bottom of the 7th.
We haven't seen Joe for a few days. Needed some work tonight, or else he would not be in a game where they're trailing by 7.
Joe Mauer leads it off, and he'll take a ball outside. Numbers on Joe, 55th appearance.
And 57 strikeouts for Jimenez in 50 innings. He's only walked 15. That's a very impressive number. 57 strikeouts, 15 walks.
Gardy saying on the last homestand they will watch his innings very closely down the stretch. Here's the 1-1 to Mauer.
And Joe did not pitch in the Chicago White Sox series at all. He last pitched in a game against Minnesota on the 12th of August.
Here's the 2-1. Hit hard to left field, but it's run down by Matuk. We check in now with Johnny Kane.
Well, guys, if you can believe this, Logan Forsythe now hitting .438 since being traded to the Minnesota Twins by the Dodgers. I mean, he's really the only veteran player that the Twins got after moving 6 players at the end of July. Paul Molitor said about Logan Forsythe is that he doesn't seem like a guy who's prone to being affected by outside circumstances, meaning that he's not looking at this as a situation where he was traded from a contender in the Los Angeles Dodgers and now has to essentially become indoctrinated into the culture here. He says he looks at it as an opportunity that you hit on, Rod, to come out and play. I mean, it's just his 14th game in Minnesota. He's had multiple hits and half of them. So Logan Forsythe said to me, he said, yeah, I miss those guys in Los Angeles, no question about that, but we're having a lot of fun here. And obviously the opportunity to get out there every day and play second base is something that he wanted to do.
Still in the big leagues, that's the bottom line.
5 hits.
Well, he's got himself a 5-hit game now. A line drive to right field. It's a 1-out single for Forsythe.
They have not thrown him 1 pitch inside today, and Logan Forsythe with 5 hits. Look at the location of that one. That one's away from Francisco Liriano. Here's another one that's away at 93. Here's another pitch. That's away. Alcantara. Here's the next one. It's away. And that last pitch was away. My goodness.
Jake Cave will come out and pinch run for him. He'll take the rest of the night off. First career 5-hit game for Logan Forsythe.
What a night. How about the effort in all of his swings, though? I mean, just not 100%, just really nice hand-eye coordination, real nice bat-to-ball skills.
It'll get through, but it's going to roll right back to McCann. Good job by Cave.
You got to be careful here when you're on third base and that ball gets past the catcher, because a lot of times that ball comes right back off of the back wall there, just like that one did. That's some of that cured cement you was talking about a couple of minutes ago.
Apparently so.
I guess it comes off there hard too, huh?
Shallow left field for Rodriguez, and Ronnie hauls it in. They'll get Polanco 2 away. Well, Spartans Fox Sports Detroit University days are back. Head to Comerica Park. It's August 24th, and the Tigers play the White Sox. Show your school spirit. You'll get a Tigers cap in green and white, donation back to the school, and more. Go to tigers.com/MSU. Two away now, and here is Miguel Sano. Spun him out of there. 1-0. Pretty good night for Sano. Bases loaded, walk in the 6th, of course, in a run, and then a 2-run shot earlier in the game, back in the 2nd. He went around, tried to hold up, and the count out 2-2.
And Sano was sitting on an off-speed pitch there. He took a fastball that was right down the middle. He did not think that Joe would throw him a fastball, therefore he was looking for an off-speed pitch. You can do that with 1 strike, but you cannot do that with 2 strikes.
Slow ground ball through the hole.
My goodness.
Into right field, holding at second base is Cave. That's another hit for Minnesota. 2 on now with 2 outs.
What's their box score look like?
Well, you got the Forsythe 5-hit game.
At least the top 4 hitters in the lineup today, 2 hits, at least 2 hits from all 4 of those guys. Big home run for Adrianza.
Tyler Austin with 2 outs. Tyler Austin was called up to the big leagues with the Yankees in 2016. In fact, he was called up the same day that Aaron Judge was called up. And they both homered in their first at bat in the big leagues. Austin since has been traded here to the Twins in the Lance Lynn deal.
Judge is still on the disabled list for the New York Yankees, and they don't really know when he's going to return. They really miss him.
I read it's been slow to go for him.
Yeah. That's what they're saying. They expected to have him back today.
Two and two. Seems like every Tigers reliever not named Reininger or Alcantara have really thrown a lot of pitches.
Yep, struggled.
It's going to be 18 now for Jimenez.
Joe's kind of struggled since the All-Star break, though.
A wave and a miss will end the inning. So they will leave 2. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. To 8 is our score in this one. It's been a slugfest, man. I'm trying to keep my feet here, but it's been difficult. The Tigers pitchers have thrown over 170 pitches in this ball game.
I mean, it started with Liriano at the top of the show. I mean, he just didn't have a good start here today. He didn't pitch 2 innings. The Tigers bullpen, Reininger came in. Alcantara did a very nice job, but McAllister struggled really in this game today, and that's kind of where it turned.
Well, the Tigers have had 4 home runs. There is some bright spots. You mentioned that the Tigers have had some pretty good bats in this game.
Nicholas Castellanos with a real big day today. Nico Goodrum also with a very nice day, another home run. against his former team. James McCann always seems to show up in this ballpark. Victor with a nice offensive day. Really up and down, the Tigers have had a nice offensive day. They've scored 8 runs, but usually 8 runs is enough to win the game, but not today.
Yeah, you would think that that would put them on easy street, but 15 up there for Minnesota.
And 15 runs, the most the Tigers have given up to any team this year.
2-1 on Ronnie Rodriguez, who leads it off. Changes now. Rosario has gone to left field. Adrianza has gone to second base. Forsythe out of the game. There's a base hit to center field for Ronnie. And Cave has remained in the game. He'll play right field. Those are the changes for Minnesota. Tigers get a leadoff single here by Ronnie Rodriguez. Here's Victor Reyes.
And biggest at-bats of the game came to Ronnie Rodriguez and Victor Reyes. It was back in the top half of the 5th inning. The Tigers had pushed the score to 8-7. There was 1 out and the bases were loaded. And Rodriguez struck out and Reyes grounded out to the pitcher.
No, he's got an extra base hit. Nope. It's going to be a single as the throw comes back in. Right down the third base line. So back-to-back singles now for Reyes and Rodriguez. They celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Tigers' 68 World Series team. September 8th, the Tigers hosting Cardinals at 6:10 p.m. Get there early. A special pregame on-field ceremony presented by Comerica Bank. Go to Tigers.com for more ticket information. Tigers not done battling it apparently now as Candelario stands in. 2 on, nobody out. And Candy pops it up. Left side for Sano. Infield fly rule is called by the third base umpire Livka.
Candy jammed himself on that particular swing right there. He's kind of gliding with his body forward. When you glide with your body toward the pitcher, you're not going to have good hand speed, not good bat speed. And you can see that he got tied up with that fastball there from Madison Reed. When you glide with your body going forward, it slows your hands down. No bat speed there, no quickness in that swing for Candy.
Here is Jim Adducey. Single run scored tonight for Adducey. Tigers now have 10 hits. It's also popped up but back out of play. One ball, one strike on Adducey. Castellanos on deck. Fly ball right field. On the move is Cave, still going back to the wall to make the catch. Rodriguez tagging, going to third, 2 gone. How about the upcoming matchup presented by Wallside Windows? Tomorrow it's going to be Matthew Boyd and Kyle Gibson. And Kyle Gibson was tremendous against the Tigers last week when he was at Comerica Park. And meanwhile, Matthew Boyd, he's pitched well lately, 7-10 with a 4.20 ERA for the Tigers left-hander. The game that Kyle Gibson pitched against us may have been the best I think I've ever seen Kyle against us. I would agree with that. And we've seen him a few times over the years, but he was dominant. Yeah, he had a lot of crooked numbers going into that contest against Tigers bats over the years. They've given him fits, but not 5 days ago. Nicholas trying to add to an already big night. There's Shane Green warming up. He'll be next out of the Tigers pen. Dick really used the last homestand to jumpstart his little mini slump that he was going through. Just went through a couple of weeks where he couldn't get it done.
He had that 5 for 5 game that got him going. Then he came back out the next day and went 0 for 5, but then he backed that up with 2 hits yesterday. And Nick's got that good swing back again where he's not pulling off the ball. Looks like he's concentrating on going to right center field. There was a spell there where Nicholas was pulling off everything, swinging at a lot of breaking balls in the dirt.
Oliver Drake in the Minnesota pen. Two and two on Nicholas. Three and two. The big inning in this game, the 7-run sixth for the Twins, after the Tigers had come back from an 8-2 deficit to make it 8-7. Runner going on 3-2, lofted in the air to right field. Cave is on the charge, and he'll get there for the out. On our way to the bottom of the 8th at Target Field. Brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. Beautiful night here in Minneapolis. The Tigers Twins opening up a 4-game weekend set. To the bullpen go the Tigers again. It'll be Shane Green.
Man, Green pitching in his 51st game and checks in with a ERA just a shade over 4.
Mitch Garver will lead things off now for the Twins here in the bottom of the 8th. And Garver looks at ball 1.
And apparently Ron Gardenhire wanted to stay away from Drew Verhagen and also Buck Farmer today. And both guys pitched multiple innings yesterday.
Cardi was kind of put behind the 8 ball here with Liriano getting bounced out so early. Chopper to the right side. Nico cruising over. Garver is out, 1 away. MLB.TV is now available at a lower price for $49.99. Watch every out-of-market regular season game. Plus, get a free subscription to MLB At Bat Premium. Take advantage of this special offer. Go to MLB.TV. Here's Kepler. Ball 1.
I've noticed something about my scorecard. A lot of the base hits today by the Minnesota Twins the other way. Maurer with a couple of hits the other way today. Forsythe, all 5 of his hits the opposite way. Sano, both of his hits the opposite way today.
Hit him. Kepler will take first. The only thing I've noticed about my score sheet is I can no longer read it.
A little messy today, huh?
Yeah, it is. Ooh, back elbow.
That ball was right over the plate. I mean, Kepler is standing right on the plate, and take a look at when the breaking ball hits him. His elbow looks like it's right over home plate. You can tell better from this look right here. Or is that just me?
It's close. Yeah, it's close. Here is Eddie Rosario.
Eddie Rosario just came in an inning ago. He's already had 3 plate appearances.
Yeah, he had 2 of them in the 6th.
Good player. Good all-around player. Has 141 hits this year. He's got 30 doubles. He's already hit 20 home runs. He's a really good two-way player. A lot of outfield assists the last number of years.
High fly ball, center field. Reyes going back to the warning track in front of the wall to make the catch. 2 gone. Hey, Johnny Kane and the skipper went fishing on a recent day off, and Johnny said he had a whole lot of fun. Here's some action.
Oh, they buddies now.
Yeah, they are.
We're on.
Go get him. It's you.
Has she just surfaced? Okay, then. Yeah, there's no pressure.
I think somebody better stick to
mercy.
reporting. All I know is I heard music in the background going, dum, 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 dum.
Absolutely.
Oh, the skip getting all over Johnny Kane.
That had to be a great day for Johnny Kane, hanging with the skipper.
No doubt.
They say Steve Little, the bench coach, caught the biggest fish that day.
Is that true, Johnny?
Yeah, Little and Vavra, they both had the 2 big ones, 41 inches. I like how you guys can't give me any credit. You guys had to show the one fish that I wasn't able to boat.
Hey, I didn't cut that.
Hey, are you a fisherman though, Johnny? Or you just went to go hang with Gardy that day?
No. We had a great time. Obviously, you know, Gardy does a lot of fishing. Did a lot of fishing when he managed here. Landed 10,000 lakes, but yeah, he knows what he's doing. Little is a big fisherman.
Is he?
Vavra is a big fisherman. Now we had a ball.
I like to eat it. Bring me some back next time.
Well, we'll do it. We were catch and release this time on Lake St. Clair, but we'll be bringing that to you for anybody that might have missed it. We'll be bringing that to you during Tigers Live on Sunday during the day game of this 4-game series, guys.
Nice. Looking forwad to it. Thanks, Johnny. Adrianza fouling it back. 1-2 the count.
Here's Steve Little. He is the bench coach of Ron Gardenhire. He also held that role here in Minnesota. Not the entire time that they were here together, but and there were a few of those years there. Steve Little was the bench coach for Ron. Then we told you earlier that Gardy hired Paul Molitor to be his bench coach 1 year.
Green ends the inning by striking out Adrianza. Let's go to the 9th. 15-8. Tigers will have Nico Goodrum to lead things off. They'll do so against a new pitcher, Oliver Drake.
Oliver Drake has pitched a lot of games with a lot of different teams this season. He has pitched for the Brewers, the Indians, the Angels, and the Blue Jays, and the Twins. A combined 6.45 ERA. How in the world do you pitch with that many teams, partner?
I have no idea. Where's he stay? I mean, does he rent?
In one season.
Stay in a hotel? Nico stands in. We get the 9th inning underway. It is ball 1 outside.
Better not buy a house. Nico, another big day for Nico Goodrum. 2 for 3, solo home run, double walk. Uh-oh, another one.
Toward right field, and Cave gets over there and makes the catch.
He just missed that one. Got in on him just a little bit.
We'll bring up Mike Gerber now. His second at bat. A pinch hit for Victor Martinez back in the 7th. Gerber flied out to left field in the 7th inning. One ball and 1 strike on Gerber. Both teams going to the pen quite a bit tonight. They've had May, Drake coming on here. They had Reed for a couple of innings. Tigers had to go to the bullpen in the 2nd tonight.
Yeah, both managers are going to be looking for some length out of their starting pitchers tomorrow night. Kyle Gibson will be pitching for Minnesota, and the Tigers will counter with Matthew Boyd.
Swing and a miss. Down he goes. By the way, the Tigers and Twins are back at it tomorrow. 7 o'clock for all of your game coverage, beginning with Tigers Live tomorrow at 7 right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Well, here is Mikey Matuk. Tigers trailed 8-2 tonight, got it to within 8-7. Had a chance actually to take the lead, but they will apparently fall a little short unless they can come up with a big 2-out rally here in the 9th. Matuk hit a 2-run homer to start the comeback in the 4th inning. Boyd and Gibson tomorrow. Two and one. Boyd will be shooting for his 8th win of the year. Gibson, good ERA of 3.49. Mikey pounds it foul, back out of play now. 2-2 on Matuk.
Gibson was a name that was being thrown out there quite a bit at the trade deadline, but he stayed put.
Mentioned earlier tonight, the Twins and all the trades they made got 11 minor leaguers to join their system in all those trades.
Yeah.
Two and two on Mikey Matuk. Rolled foul. McCann waiting if Matuk reaches. Drake trying to shut this one down. And Mikey stays alive. Tigers 1 out away from dropping to 50 and 72 on the year.
And this Twins team continues to sizzle at home. They're about to go 12 games over 500 at home, and they have won now 17 of their last 21 games. That's getting it done at home.
It is, man. It's become a pretty good home field advantage for them. 3-2 on Mikey. Fouled away.
And Mikey not going down without a battle.
The home run that he hit back in the 4th was his first in the big leagues this year, which also snapped an 0 for 14. Walked him, ball 4. Matuk walks with 2 outs to keep it going. We've had a lot of runs scored in this game, but the Mets scored 24 today.
Oh, they went straight off on the Philadelphia Phillies.
Oh, what's that club record?
Man, Philly only scored 4 in the game. Philly had to have a position player pitch tonight, I bet.
Oh, yeah, they would have to.
We're already up to a record number in that category. Position players taking the mound.
Strike 1 on McCann, who thought it was a little bit wide. Mikey had a 9-pitch at bat, drawing the walk, and now McCann hitting here.
And McCann with a chance to add to his night.
0-2. Well, what a long night it's been for McCann as well, huh?
Yep.
Catching all those pitches. Tigers have thrown probably nearly 200 pitches tonight. Mikey was on the move. He'll head back to first base. Nico Goodrum coming back here to Minnesota, doing it again. He's homered in the game.
Yeah, he and Nicholas both have had nice nights tonight. Nico got the flat top going, don't he?
He
It's
does.
way up there, huh? You bringing back the old school flat top.
I like it.
Kid and play.
And it'll miss inside, and Matuk will take second uncontested.
It's up there.
Kid and play.
Got the fade on the sides.
Oh, man. One and 2 on McCann. Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and that will finally end the ball game. Now we'll send you to the Call Sam Studios. Trevor Thompson standing by with Tigers live postgame.